Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, so welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game I played for a week and then I talk about it. This week's game is Micro Machines for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was released in 1991 and it's a racing game developed by Codemaster and also published by them, and also be some spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. So, when I was a kid, me and my friends used to play with Micro Machines during our school breaks, and I remember my friends had the awesome monster trucks. So the reason I picked up this game was because of one of the Jeremys of Retrovaniacs and his YouTube review of this game. So yeah, that's why I played it this week. So what are Micro Machines? Well, Micro Machines are miniature toy vehicles that you race around in this game. And another funny thing about this game is that it wasn't exactly licensed by Nintendo, so Codemaster did the only plausible thing. They bypassed the NES lockout chip. At the start of the game, you get a couple of company logos and a catchy ship tune to go with that, and if you wait a bit, the game scrolls through the different events such as sports cars, power boats, Formula 1, jeeps, warrior, shoppers, turbo wheels, tanks, and rough trucks, which are of course monster trucks. And now there are two options, one player challenges or two players head to head, and of course since I played this game alone, I could only play by myself. So I selected between a couple of derpy looking kids, Walter, Dwayne, Spider, and there are of course more of those. Typical 90s stereotypical kids, I guess. So the first challenge is Power Boat, and in this mode you race against other fast-moving boats in a hot tub, or I guess it's a bathtub really. And the barrier around the stage is actually bubbles. Next up is Jeeps, the breakfast Benz. So this takes place on a kitchen during breakfast on the table, and the track is actually marked by cereals, and the obstacles here are things you will actually find on a, breakfast table. On the screen you have a couple of indicators such as the racers and their positions and the number of laps remaining. Next up is sports cars and the desktop drop-off. So on this stage you race on a school desktop, jumping over and avoiding pens and erasers, and since this is about sports cars, everything is too fast for its own good. Between the events you gradually fill up a shelf with Micro Machines. It doesn't really do anything, but it's kinda neat. Next up is Warriors, Oil Can Alley, and this is a bit like Mad Max. The level looks like a wasteland, spiky cars, oil slicks, and I think it takes place in a garage on a workbench. Next up is Rough Trucks, Beat the Clock. You drive a monster truck through a rough terrain, over water and rocks, and that's about it. Next up is Turbo Wheels, Sandy Straits. Drive on a beach, avoid water and rocks, and just like the sports cars section, this goes way fast for its own good. Next up is Jeeps, Oathmeal in Overdrive. Now that's the title. So back at the kitchen table, driving around. Next is Formula 1, the cue ball circuit. So you race on a pool table, and I should probably mention this, but you can actually fall off the stages. And that's about it for the game. It just repeats like this. So you can actually drive a helicopter in the later stages, you can also drive a tank, and you eventually eliminate all the other kids and you win a trophy, and that's it for the game. So gameplay. This is a game about miniature racing with vehicles. Control, the D-pad is steering, the A button accelerates, the B button brakes and reverse, and if you're in tank mode, A and B fires the tank. Graphics. The graphics looks a bit dull, and I don't really like the look of the car sprites, but it's fine for a NES game. Sound and music. Matt Gray made the soundtrack for this game. So you have the title theme and the menu theme, those are my favorites, they're pretty good. Otherwise, the other themes are just short loops. Easter eggs, secrets, and glitches. So I checked out a YouTube video on the Fast Talker commercial for Micro Machines, and that dude can talk really fast. His name is John Motormouth, or at least that's what it's called. So check it out if you want to hear some fast talking action. So in conclusion I wrote yes, so this game has a sharpie soundtrack, and the sprite work is a bit dull, but it's fine for a NES game. It's an okay game. The only complaint I have is that the difficulty ramps up at the end and the game is too long. So if you know what you're doing and don't do any mistakes, you can beat the game within 1 hour, but there will be a lot of mistakes and falling off the tracks. So my recommendation would be to play the game a little, feel it out, but don't expect to beat it. So yeah, anyway, thank you for listening and or watching, and take care.